Well, hello and welcome back to my channel. On this channel, we will be making all kinds of plant-based foods, going to plant-based restaurants or ordering plant-based items at other restaurants, and sharing recipes and trying new items. I just made a plant-based Baby Bell cheese review, so if you want to check that out, I will put the link in the description. But anyways, today's video is going to be a video where we make vegan tiramisu. So without further ado, let's get into it. So everyone, these are all of the ingredients that you will need. I use Coco Whip. You can use the regular one. This one's the light one, so it's like less sugary, which I like, but the flavor of the coconut whipped cream is amazing. So I highly recommend using So Delicious coconut cream. You'll need some cocoa powder, some sugar, coffee, and some type of wafers. Usually I use these. They're gluten-free, but they do have egg in them. So if you're vegan, these do have egg in them, but they are gluten-free. If you're a celiac, I would choose these. But for the recipe, we're gonna go vegan. So we're gonna use these from Whole Foods. They are not gluten-free, but they are vegan. All they contain is wheat and soy ingredients. So we'll need those, and then some chocolate chips instead. And the utensils and stuff you'll need for this recipe will be a mixing bowl, a mixer, a little sifter for the cocoa powder, a rubber spatula, a spoon. This is for it's a coffee pod for my Keurig, a bowl, and some type of pan that you want to put the tiramisu in. So without further ado, let's get started. So everyone, what we want to start off by doing is making our coffee. I actually want to use this one that I got from one of my old jobs. It's coffee that was actually roasted and harvested in Venezuela. I got a pack of like seeds, like vegetable seeds, and this coffee. So I'm gonna blend this really quick. Alright, so we have some coffee. For this recipe, I got this from Alicio, the Pazzinis. They're like a family of American woman and a man from Italy. I based my recipe off of theirs. The cream is nothing like theirs. They make cream with like custard, like eggs. But he said always put some sugar in your coffee so you can get a little bit of the bitterness out. Since it's a dessert, you don't want it to be bitter. So I took his advice. I mean, he's from Italy, so I'll take his advice. So what I always do is I just add a little bit of sugar to the coffee. And we could also start getting these open. And also we can start getting the coconut cream into this bowl here, so we can mix it with the chocolate. Also, I recommend, if you're gonna use this coconut cream, I recommend letting it sit out for like 10 minutes before you start using it. It'll be a little bit easier, but that's alright, I don't mind. So I'm gonna rinse these out to recycle them. And we have fresh coffee here. That's what we want. That's what we want. Give it a quick stir here. And we have our slightly sweetened coffee. So let's finish getting these Coco Whips out and into the bowl. I really love this recipe. I've been making it, I think, for about a year now. Ever since I saw the Pazzinis video on YouTube of them making tiramisu, I just had to make it with my own little vegan twist. So It's really good with the coconut cream. I brought some in for my coworkers and they all really loved it. None of them were vegan and they really loved it. So even if you're not vegan, I would still recommend you give this recipe a shot. It's easy as heck and it's delicious. So for the cream, I always like to put a little chocolate in it. So that's what we're gonna blend up. We're gonna blend up some chocolate. These are little mini ones, I guess. I didn't know I got mini ones. I'm okay with that. So we want to think for the whole tiramisu. That's probably good there. Okay, so we have chocolate. Want to get all these little chips in here. Good chocolate. All right, so we want to give this a little, we want to give the chocolate chips a little blend. All right, so I just put this right in there. Okay, so now what you want to do is remove the spatula, set up your mixer. Plug it in, plug it in. Here we are. Get it deep down in there because you don't want it spraying everywhere. This is pretty frozen, so like it's gonna take a second to get it to like loosen up a little bit. I'm gonna put it down like that. But like if you wait 10 minutes instead of using it while it's frozen, it'll be easier to mix. You'll whip it in like 2 seconds. But it'll be all right this way as well. So what you want to do is get it all loose. So this is really good stuff, y'all. Just right here, this is good. You could make an ice cream sandwich with this right here. It's good stuff. But today we're making tiramisu. All right, that looks pretty good to me. So what we want to do next is, I do this because of Alicio on the pazzinis. He said always start with a little bit of cream. All right, so a thin layer. And what we want to do now is just start getting the cookies in one by one. So what you want to do is like, I don't know if you could see that. What you want to do is put the cookie in on one side, flip it over, and take it out. You don't want to have the cookie sit in there forever. You just want to dip it on both sides and then remove it. And what I like to layer them like is just one after another, just to fill up the space. This smells delicious already. So I think the bottom layer of the cream is just for the cookies to soak up really. So this is real good stuff. These cookies smell amazing. They smell very strongly of vanilla. Okay, y'all. So those look pretty good. If you can see the layering. I'm just gonna give the cream a little time to warm up because it's still pretty frozen, which makes it hard to spread it. It's a lot easier to spread it when it's not frozen. So I'm gonna wait a few minutes and I'll see y'all in a few. All right, y'all, so let me see if it's ready now to start. Can you tell I'm a little impatient? It's better. You basically just want to wait until it's spreadable. And honestly, these cookies are so thin. I think next round I'm just gonna dip them a little less long because they are breaking apart whenever I touch them, which means they're well soaked, which is not bad. It's okay. It's still gonna be pretty good, but we want them a little more firm than that. So I say that's pretty good for the first little layer there. Now we need to add some cocoa powder. What you want to do is grab a sifter and a spoon and put the cocoa powder in the sifter, and what you want to do is just tap the side of the sifter to coat the tiramisu evenly. Some people only put the cocoa powder on the top, but personally I like my tiramisu very chocolatey. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but that's pretty good. All right, and on to the next layer where we soak the cookies just a little less. Maybe we'll just dip them for a second since the last time they got too soaked. This will help with the structural integrity, but you don't really want like crunchy tiramisu. You want like cake-like tiramisu. So we're just gonna dunk them pretty fast. And that should work out. This is my first time using these cookies, so it's all right. We live, we learn. And personally, I love cooking with my hands. I did thoroughly wash them, so don't worry about that. But I love cooking with my hands because it gives me the opportunity to put a little love in my food. All right, y'all, so give this another quick stir. By the way, y'all, also while I was waiting for this to thaw a little bit more, I put a little coffee in it, like 4 spoonfuls of that coffee, so to make it a little bit more runny as well. That does add good flavor to the tiramisu, so if you want to do that, you can also do that. Either way, y'all, this tiramisu always tastes so freaking good. I'm so happy I get to finally share this recipe with y'all. I've been wanting to make this video for a long time. Just so that if people around the world like only think that they can buy tiramisu, it's like, no, you can make it at home. It's not that hard. And especially if you're vegan, like, you don't have to go to a place that like sells vegan stuff and pay like way overpriced for it too. You can just, the most expensive part of this is probably the Coco Whip. I get mine at Whole Foods. You can also get it at Kroger. There's another brand too called True Whip, which is a coconut based whipped cream, like a Cool Whip kind of. And you can use that too. They sell that at Meijer. But I get this one at Whole Foods. I think it tastes a little better. It's like $5 and something per one. So that's the most expensive part of it all. And it's $15. So for the whole pan. And the cookies are probably like $4 or less. And again, you just want to tap and let the cocoa powder fall. Tiramisu. I thought about like getting a little spray bottle and spraying like coffee on this layer. I think that would be pretty good. So if you want to do something a little different, you can do that. I'm just thinking of doing that one of the times I make it, just because sometimes when I'm eating the tiramisu, the chocolate layers make me cough, like I'm doing the cinnamon challenge. So if you want to like wet the chocolate a little bit, you could do that. But I think the cream will do good enough as long as we let the tiramisu rest enough. You gotta let tiramisu rest like for 2 days. All right, next step. Get some more cream on there, and this consistency is like perfect now. Probably should put a little more. All right. Just wanna get the cocoa covered a little bit, or at least mixed in with the Coco Whip. And you wanna cover the cookies. Yep, just like that. And I think this has to be the last layer, just because I'm running out of whole cookies here. I have pieces and parts, so we'll use those. But not too many full cookies here. All right, so we got our cookies, and this is the last layer of Coco Whip, so we want to use all of it, but we want to make sure it's spread out pretty well. Smells so good, yo. Smells amazing. We still got more in here though. So we want to scrape the bowl clean. That's why we're using a rubber spatula. So just kind of drip it on the spots that don't have enough. It'll make it easier to spread. So what you want to do is just spread it out again, make it even. And at this point, it's kind of liquidy as heck, which is alright, because we're not gonna eat it right now. Like, we're not gonna cut into the tiramisu now. Just like a traditional tiramisu, you wanna wait like 2 days of this in the fridge. If you wanna put it in the freezer, you could probably wait like a matter of hours, maybe like 6 or 7 hours. But either way will work. All right, y'all. Last thing to do is just put chocolate on the top. And this one, you want to make sure it's pretty perfect, because that's the top. Presentation of the tiramisu is basically just chocolate on the top. So. It's a good amount of chocolate. This is why it's like the cinnamon challenge. Alright, so what I do last is I always just like wipe the edges of the tiramisu clean. Because we're going to put this in the fridge or the freezer and let it sit at least overnight. If you're doing the fridge, this version calls for about 2 days in the fridge. So I might put it in the freezer this time, just to have it faster. But yeah, y'all, this is the vegan tiramisu. Like I said, it needs to go right into the fridge or the freezer. You cannot eat it now. If you try to scoop it now, it would be like soup. But if you let it sit in the fridge or the freezer, it'll solidify again like it was at first. You know, the cream was kind of like hard to spread and stuff. It'll solidify and the cookies will absorb more of the cream and the espresso in there, and it'll kind of make it like a cake. So this is a vegan tiramisu, y'all. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna get the kitchen cleaned up here. I will show you how I like it in the next couple of days when I get to eating it. It's very good, so stay tuned. Alright, y'all, it's time to cut into the tiramisu. It's about 3 hours later, but it was in the freezer, so let's see. It seems pretty solid, which is good, because what I was trying to avoid was it being super like watery, you know, like runny. So it seems like a cake. Oh yeah, tiramisu. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I want a bigger piece than that. I love dessert. Alright, so this is the vegan tiramisu. It looks and smells freaking amazing. Let me just take a few bites here to let y'all know how it turned out. It was in the freezer for like 3 hours, so. That's really good. The chocolate. And the cocoa and the coffee. This is really good. I highly recommend this recipe if you've always loved tiramisu but you're like lactose intolerant, or you know, you're vegan or something for the environment or the animals. This is fire. I would recommend waiting longer though. I just really wanted some. I would recommend at least waiting, if you're in the freezer, maybe like 2 more hours, so like 5 hours in the freezer. In the fridge though, like 2 days. And it'll like solidify better. So it's more like a cake, you know, it's like firm. Not firm, but like not runny. But yeah, y'all, I really hope you end up trying this recipe because I really love it. It's always been good since I've been making it, and I really enjoy it. All my friends really enjoy it, so I hope you end up making it. If you make it, let me know how you enjoy it down below in the comments. I would love to hear if you end up making it, if you like it. And if you make tiramisu already, what's your twist on tiramisu? I would love to hear about it in the comments. It's been real, y'all, though. Stay hydrated. You're crazy. You're crazy.